Nobody notices there are a bunch of German staff officers in their midst. And finally he sees his exit. He says to his chauffeur, takes the exit, get off the Autobahn. They take the exit, they get off the Autobahn, and General von Sagan rejoins his troops. He is now with his troops, and he's beginning to organize a counterattack. Meanwhile, General Rose is racing east towards Paderborn. He's way out front. He's only his jeep. There's nothing around him except armored cars. All they have are rifles and pistols. Nothing but their way out in front, and he's going to get to Paderborn in one day. He's done it. And then he gets a signal from a radio man back at base. Hey, is this General Rose? Yes, it is. What do you want? Yeah, it's Sergeant Signaler Miller. Yeah, we just want to let you know that General von Sagan has counterattacked behind you. You're cut off. You're completely cut off from base. You're just out there on your own. General Eisenhower wants you to come back. Yeah, turn around and come back and rejoin your tanks. No, I'm going to Paderborn. I'm going to make it to Paderborn. I'm going to lunge forward. I'm going to keep going. And Maurice Rose continues to race for Paderborn, even though he's cut off. The first show of my season. I didn't pick the season. The previous artistic director did. I was very nervous about these shows. I didn't choose any of these shows. I was worried would they make money, would the audience enjoy them, but this first one was great. It was so good. And I just lunged forward into it, and I embraced it because I loved it so much. It was a one-person show. It was about a lesbian clown. She was so funny. She was always a clown. Every time you spoke to her, she was a clown. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? I'm great. I'm so great, I'm going to fall down. She was incredible. And the show opened, and the audience loved it. The opening night audience was packed, and they just adored Sarah. Unfortunately, every subsequent performance got smaller and smaller. The audience dwindled. And I used to go backstage. I'd say, hey, Sarah, how you doing? You all set for the show tonight? What's the house like, John? How many people are in the house? It's small, Sarah. It's a very small house. Wah, wah, wah. No, it's okay, Sarah. It really is. I want you to go out there and give it your all. Put on a good show. The more people who enjoy it, the more word will spread, the audience will grow. I love it, Sarah. I'll be out there laughing my head off. Give me a good show, and you'll entertain everybody. Yay! Yay, 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 John! Yay! And she went out there night after night to small houses and gave her all. The audiences loved it, but they never got bigger. And here, I just so admired somebody, and I couldn't support them. I couldn't figure out how to get an audience in the door. We were losing money, but more importantly, people weren't enjoying this great thing that was created. And I realized just how tough this job would be. Station 5, the death of General Rose. General Rose is racing north. He doesn't have a single tank with him. All he has is a pistol on his belt. His men just have rifles and pistols, but he's confident he's going to get to Paderborn. The only thing between him and Paderborn is a German tank cadet school. A school? I'm going to brush those schoolboys aside and roar into Paderborn. Victory! I'll be a 3-star general by the end of the night. This is why I can't be wrong. Nobody took this cadet training tank school at Paderborn seriously. They didn't take it seriously. They thought, oh, they don't have any tanks. They're just training to run tanks. They don't have any tanks. The Germans had huge tanks at this cadet school. Tiger tanks, gigantic monsters. The Americans thought, well, they're young. Young people don't know what's going on. Don't you be kidding! Young people are insane. They have passion. They have fire. Never trust the young. They're crazy. Finally, they're led at this cadet school by the SS, the most ruthless German soldiers in the German army. These guys are not going to let anybody get through this cadet tank training school. And sure enough, on March 25th, 1945, the Panzers came out. Now, this is an incredibly important moment in any history of World War II is the entrance of the tanks. And have I got them for you? Get ready for these tanks. Was scary, and they came rolling out. Just 2 more times between your legs. Don't take it personally. Yes. And one last time between your legs. Enjoy this. Thank you so much. The tanks came out, and now, through the good offices of the lovely people at Zoo, we give you the entrance of the German Tiger tanks at Paderborn. These incredibly intimidating, scary vehicles who are now coming out to take on General Rose. Horrified, complete terror, and Rose saw them coming. She was like, oh my God, what is it? Oh my God. I'm surrounded by German tanks. They're in front of me. They're beside me. They're behind me. They're everywhere. Yes, the cadets have come out, and they've got the biggest damn tanks on the planet, and they're all around me. And General Rose, you know what to do. You know what to do. And then he looked to his left and his right, and his officers were doing the only thing they could do, because all they had were the pistols on their belts. They were raising their hands in surrender. And General Rose said, oh my God, I have to surrender. Okay. So he looked at the lead SS officer who was staring at him down the muzzle of a machine gun. And that officer made the universal nod, which means take off your gun belt. That's how you surrender in a war. You take off your gun belt and throw it away, you are surrendering. All of his other officers are throwing away their gun belts, throwing away their gun belts. General Rose says, all right, I can't surrender. I can do this, I can do this. He reaches down, he starts to undo his gun belt, it won't come off. He can't get it off. Listen, everybody is staring at him, his officers, the SS guys behind the machine guns. And then he decides, in an effort to get the belt off, he makes a mistake and he starts to reach around behind his belt. He's going to yank it from behind, but as he reaches around, his hand passes his service revolver, and the Germans open up with machine guns. General Rose becomes the highest-ranking American casualty in the European theater of operation, killed by the SS Panzer unit at the cadet school at Paderborn. And the men in his army are outraged. The men of the Third Army freak out because they know that General Rose was Jewish. They know that he is the son of a rabbi. And when they find out that he was killed by the SS, they assume that the SS took him prisoner and shot him because he was Jewish. And after the war, there's an investigation conducted by the Americans, and they determined that no, in fact, it was a mistake. The SS thought he was reaching for his service revolver. But nevertheless, now the 3rd Armored has the bit in its teeth, and it starts racing for its link up with the 2nd Armored of General Simpson's 9th Army. They're racing towards each other 100 miles behind enemy lines. They're racing, and finally in April 2nd, 1945, they link up, and the Ruhr pocket is complete. The Germans are surrounded. It is now a pocket, a true pocket. And in it is the industrial might of Germany. Germany's ability to fight this war has just been knocked out of the war because it's surrounded. There'll be no more tanks, no more fuel, no more aircraft, no more trains, no more planes, nothing. Because the Ruhr pocket's been knocked out of the war. Also, the Germans will lose 370,000 5,000 men trapped in this pocket. And the Americans don't think these guys will fight. What are they, stupid? They're trapped. It's over. The war's over for them. They won't fight back. It's impossible. They've done it. The 9th Army and the 1st Army have managed to get into the Ruhr, and they've surrounded Army Group B, consisting of the 15th German Army, the 5th German Panzer Army, and elements of the 1st German Parachute Army. The end is nigh. So now, what happens? It's now time for the armies to attack into the pocket. So both armies, the 9th and the 1st, will now launch assaults into the pocket to destroy the Germans inside. Again, they don't really imagine that the Germans are going to fight back that much, but they're prepared. They've got the ammunition, they've got the men. So now, the 9th Army from the north launches its assault into the Ruhr pocket. The first thing they have to do is cross the Dortmund-Ems Canal. Now this is like the Rhine River. It's another obstacle. It's deep. It's just like the Rhine. It's deep. It's 30 feet deep. It's 35 feet wide, but there isn't any water in it. The Germans have drained the water. At least with a river, you can take boats and cross it like General Simpson did to build this bridge. The Dortmund-Ems Canal, the Germans have drained all the water out of it. So the Americans are going to have to get in that canal. They'll be like shooting ducks at a target, cross the canal and fight their way at the other side. And at this battle, fighting at this battle is the greatest American novelist of the 20th century, Richard Yates. Oh yeah! He wrote Revolutionary Road. He wrote Easter Parade, but his best book, his best is a book called Special Providence. Fully half the book is about the fighting in the Dortmund-Ems Canal. It's his World War II book. It's incredible. He loved writing about this battle so much. They wrote 2 short stories about it. He wrote one called The BAR Man, and he wrote another short story which is about the canal, which has the best title ever. This short story is called The Canal. It is amazing. He's 19 years old. He's not a novelist yet. And there he is fighting at the Dortmund-Ems Canal. The first thing they do is they jump down the 30 feet. They land. They get their ladders and they cross the Dortmund-Ems Canal. The Germans are shooting at them. Shoot at me. Shoot at me. They don't know what they're doing. This is insane. And there, up where that light is what they have to get to. And their ladders are too short. This ladder's too big. This ladder actually works. Because their ladders are too short. Here, I'll use this. Yeah. This is the one. Okay. So now, they're advancing towards the opposite side, the German side of the Dortmund-Ems Canal. And there are all sorts of unforeseen obstacles in the way. They never expected civilians to be hanging out of it. Yes, should I? Yes. Pick up your purse. I pick up your backpack. Yes. And they put down their ladders and they start to climb the 30 feet of the Dortmund-Ems Canal, and they can't get to the top. So they send somebody ahead of them who scrambles up on top, and he reaches down and he lifts each of them up onto the German side. Can somebody go up into the booth and hold me up? Yeah, any of you. It's okay. You get the idea. Okay. If I get to the top and they surface on the German side, they can't believe it. Complete and utter destruction faces them. They've never seen anything like it. A completely destroyed landscape. Incredible. There's so many industrial cities in the Ruhr that they just connected to one huge 4,000 square mile city. And all of them are ruined. Rebar, concrete, blasted buildings, rubble everywhere. Dortmund, Essen, Ems, Duisburg, Dusseldorf, Cologne. Absolute wreckage. What happened? What created this terrifying landscape for 5 years? The Americans and British have been bombing the Ruhr in an effort to knock the Germans out of the war. They come over every day, every night, in 1,000 bomber raids, and they pummel the Ruhr. The Ruhr becomes rubble, rebar, chunks of concrete. General Curtis LeMay, head of the American Strategic War bombing effort says we will bomb Germany back into the Stone Age. The Germans will be troglodytes when this is through. General Harris, in charge of the British strategic bombing campaign, gains the nickname Bomber Harris. These two are obsessed with bombing. They send over 1,000 bomber raids, 1,000-pound bombs on the Ruhr. Does it work? Is it successful? No. The Ruhr has continued its industrial might throughout the war. And now, this whole area is turned into a huge fort behind which the Germans can fight. There's nothing but concrete piles of it, and the Germans turn it into a huge fortress. Two of their greatest divisions, the 2nd Parachute Division and the 116th Panzer Division, two of the most talented divisions in von Zegen's 15th Army, fight back ruthlessly. And the Americans know the bombing doesn't work now, so they call in their tactical air force. Their tactical air force comes in and strafes the Ruhr. They come in low and fast, and they don't spare civilians. Anything they see moving gets it. Scream! Scream! It is a ruthless assault, born of frustration. The Americans are so frustrated. The next show was a play that I wrote and directed, and guess what? It was about World War II. It was about gays in the military during World War II. And it had a wonderful cast. And it did well with the audience. The audience kept coming back. I was very, very proud of it. But I had an HR failing. Whereas I had done so well with the clown, I failed with the leading actress of this show. She was wonderful. Oh my God, she was great. But I didn't have the patience because every day we had the same conversation. And it was really getting to me. John, listen, I don't think I have to rehearse as much as I'm rehearsing. No, I just feel like I'm over-rehearsed. Well, it's an ensemble piece. I mean, I feel like we all have to rehearse together. Yeah, but I'm over-rehearsed. Yeah. Okay, how about this? I will rehearse more if you rewrite the script. Okay? Then we'll need more rehearsal. But right now the script's broken. I just feel like we're rehearsing mistakes. What do you mean the script's broken? What do you mean? Well, I don't know. I'm just a motorist. I just drive the car. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not a mechanic. You're the playwright. Fix it. Well, what's not working for you? I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. That's why I don't want to rehearse. Doesn't make sense. Hello? So I just stopped talking to her. For 6 weeks, I wouldn't speak to her. I'm so angry. I could not see past these encounters. I could not tolerate what she said to me. It got to me, and I just stopped speaking. It was so awkward. Hey, John, would you like to have a cup of... Oh, John, yeah, how about some glass of... John, I really think we need to talk... I didn't talk to her for 6 weeks. The opening night party, I showed up late, hoping that she would have left already, and she hadn't. Closing night party, I showed up early and left early, so I didn't have to see her. I haven't spoken to her to this day. And I felt like it was such a complete failure on my part. I let my rage get the better part of my humanity. I stopped being a leader and I became a child. So even though we had a successful show, I felt like I had a lot of growth in the admin department. Station 7, the Sauerland. So the Ninth Army is struggling to get across the Dortmund-Ems Canal. The Germans are fighting back ruthlessly. They're not making things easy. The First Army is going to assault from the south into the Sauerland. Now, why is it called the Sauerland? Why would anybody call something the Sauerland? Why do the Germans call it the Sauerland? Well, here, I'll show you. This will probably help. control the phone. I took you into the bathroom. I wanted to show you a stinky bathroom. That's the sour man. The phone just died on me. The phone's out of the show. Sorry, phone. Love you. I'm not going to the bathroom. And just imagine that I'm there on the screen talking about how stinky the bathroom is. Stinky bathroom. Bad soil in the sour land. Stinky Germany. This is the stinkiest part of Europe. The sour land. It smells sour. It smells terrible. So, what are the Americans going to do? They're going to launch the 18th Airborne Division under the command of Matthew B. Ridgway, who will one day be the Chief of Staff of the United States Army, maybe even President someday, and even he can't solve this problem. They cannot get through the sour land, so they call it the 13th Armored Division. They launch it into the sour land. The 13th Armored Division is young, it's new, but it's not fanatical young, it's inexperienced young. They're undertrained, they're undersupplied, they're under-equipped, they don't know what to do, and they go into that stinky part of Germany. In the bathroom now, sweetie. You're getting a view of the toilets right now. I go into the ladies' room for gender equality. And the 13th is decimated, thrown piecemeal into the battle. They traveled 200 miles on a train to get to the battle. They were thrown right in. They weren't ready. They weren't trained. They weren't prepared. They weren't well supplied, and they are chewed up. They lose 50% fighting capability in the sour land. And I always wonder one thing: who named them the 13th Armored Division? What? Architects figured out a long time ago. There's no 13th floor, right? You go 12 to 14. Who gave this unit the 13th as a designation? They are chewed up in the sour land. So we talk about the 9th Army and the 1st Army. What about the 15th Army? Their job, the 15th American Army, was to hold the Rhine, to prevent the Germans from crossing back into France. Well, the Germans are too busy fighting in the Ruhr, so the 15th is bored. They are so bored. And they're bored for two reasons. The first is one of the divisions is the 82nd Airborne Division, the most talented division in the United States Army. They have fought everywhere, at Normandy, Sicily, Italy. They fought in the Bulge. They fought in Operation Market Garden, and they always do well. They are stars, and they are twiddling their thumbs, staring at the Rhine River, and they want a piece of the action. So they decide to cross the Rhine in the middle of the day. They're badass. They can do it. So they get in their boats and they row across the Rhine River. And they get to the German side of the river. And all of a sudden, the Germans open up with their machine guns. Shoot at me! Shoot at me! 82nd Airborne goes moving back to the other side of the tree. By humiliating defeat, one of the most glamorous divisions the European theater of operations. They totally underestimated the Germans. Another unit is 94th Infantry. They have the opposite problem. They've never been in a battle. They're the first of the 17-year-old draftees. They want a piece of the action. They want to get into the fight. But the war's ending. They're never going to get a battle unless they create one. So, they're romantic. They decide not to cross in the middle of the day. They're going to be commandos. They're going to go at night. So, they get into their inflatables and they sneak across the Rhine River at night. They get to the other side, no Germans. They figured it out. They sneak into the first German town. No German army. They figured it out. They're going to capture this town. They're going to turn that house into their headquarters. So they break into that house. And now, through the magic of theater, we're allowed to see what happens inside the house. We're in the house. They did it! They captured the house. They had a headquarters. They captured a city. They did it! And then they realized that the Germans have surrounded the house. It was a trap. They were lured into a trap. And now the Germans open fire. Shoot at me! Shoot at me!
Bang, bang.
a German sergeant walks up to the front door of the house, calmly. Americans, come out. You must surrender. Come on, surrender, Americans. Amerikanskis, you've been defeated. You must surrender. Americans, the war is almost over. In a month, Germany will surrender, I'm sure, and you will be returned to your unit. So don't be stupid. Save your lives and surrender. Come on now. I will give you to the count of 3, and then we go flatten the house. 1, you will be well taken care of. We have good food. Sauerbraten, Wiener Schnitzel, Riesling wine to go with all the meat dishes. 2, we will flatten the house, Amerikanskis. 3, the Americans come in. They surrender. 94th Infantry Division in its first battle, defeated. In an attack that was unnecessary, done just for the fun of it, to get a piece of the action. The Germans are fighting back ferociously. Consistently, the Americans are underestimating the Germans' will to fight. They are fighting back like maniacs. The next show was an experimental show. It all took place in space. There were a lot of ray guns and mad doctors, and it was crazy, weird, and I thought it was kind of wonderful, right? I mean, it was well acted, well directed, the design was incredible. I really thought it was compelling. There was a lot of great dialogue, but it didn't add up, it didn't make sense. The audience got frustrated. They really wanted to enjoy it, but there just was no story to it, and so it wasn't doing so well at the box office. But that wasn't the only problem. I was really excited to work with the playwright. They're a very famous trans person. They came out from New York City to do the show. We thought it would work. It didn't. And then they stayed for the run, and they said they needed an office to work in. Well, we didn't have a lot of extra office space, so I said, well, you can work in my office with me. So they would come in and sit at a desk in my office, and we'd be there together for 6 hours. Except that they didn't work, they just wanted to talk.
You know, this play is all about my sex life, yeah. Pluto, yeah, that's my vagina. When they go to Pluto, they're going to my vagina, yeah. Mars, when they go there, that's the sex. Venus, well, once in a while we have to have sex with women too, don't we? Yeah, just to make them feel wanted, yeah. It's just sex excess. Nobody's getting the metaphor, though. If they just were patient, they get it. I've had the most interesting sex life. The meatpacking district, the beers, I could tell you stories. Oh, I've had my meat packed for decades. Then you used to line up. There was the bar I used to go to. I'd just bend over the bar, they'd throw $5 bills in my bag and just pound away. And I got free drinks while they were doing it. It was hot.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm just a married man. I mean, my husband and I have a very healthy...
I'm not interested in married person sex. That doesn't concern me at all. That's boring. That's vanilla. I want to hear about how I've been in dungeons. I've had intense experience in dungeons. You can imagine what it's like to see me naked.
Oh, well, we've had some pretty exciting sexual escapades.
I want to hear your stories. I just want to hear my stories. Hard in the bedroom. I'm intense.
So I listened to the playwright's sex stories, and the show ended, and they went home, and I thought, well, I learned to listen. I did listen. I did a lot of listening, and then the playwright wrote me an email. I couldn't believe it.
I hated working at that theater. It's not your fault. You tried to give me good people, but those people were terrible. The director didn't understand my play. The actors didn't understand what sex is. Have they ever even had sex? It was horrible. The marketing was terrible. The design was ugly. I made a poster. I designed my own poster. After the original poster came out, I said, that's for Cockta. I made a poster, and the designer rejected it, and then the marketing people wouldn't even use it. I hated everybody at that theater. I did.
The only person they didn't go after was me. I think the reason was because I actually listened to the stories. I think everybody else had stopped listening. The show didn't make any money. I did listen, but the interpersonal stuff was making it incredibly difficult to keep moving forward at this theater, but I would have to keep pushing forward. Station 9, Dortmund, north and south. So now the Americans are launching their assaults from the north and the south, and the Germans are being hammered, and the Americans are frustrated, so they send in the Air Force again, and the phone's still not working. But imagine I'm doing another one of these. And now I'm machine gunning all of you. Yeah, there you are. Oh, that's me. It is insanity. The Germans will not stop. They keep resisting. Why? I can't figure out why. Station 10, the Hun. I think the reason was the Gestapo has started hanging people. In every German town, from the telephone poles, the legs are dangling. I now do a close-up of my feet, dangling from a telephone pole. The Gestapo are making an example of everybody who doesn't resist maniacally. Adolf Hitler's orders. On the bodies, they hang signs that say traitor, coward, defeatist. The Germans cannot surrender. They can't give up. They're not being allowed to. Station 11, the cellars. The bombing is horrendous. There's an explosion. So the German civilians who are not allowed to surrender do become troglodytes. They live in their cellars without food. They crawl into them. Up above are the pianos. Every German household has a piano in it. Why? Because classical music, it's bloodline, it's Germany. Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Bruckner, Wagner, they all came from Germany. And so all the pianos upstairs are no longer playing the music of the masters. They're playing the music of war, special music, bomb music. As the rubble falls on the pianos. And then silence. The German civilians emerge. What's happened? The planes are gone. The tanks are gone. The artillery's gone. There's no more explosions. There's no more machine gun fire. It's silent up above. It is bizarre. What's happened is the German army has surrendered. We have no more fuel, no more ammunition, no more guns, no more machines. We cannot keep fighting. We give up. Station 12, the link up. Just as they did before, the 1st Army is racing north, the 9th Army is racing south. They're going to divide the pocket in two. They meet finally on April 14th, 1945, and they link up in the middle of the pocket, and now the German Army, even in the Ruhr pocket, is divided in two. It can no longer fight. It is not an effective fighting force anymore. And General von Zegen, that incredibly talented German officer who has single-handedly kept the fight going all this time, realizes I have nothing. I have no tanks. I have no fuel. I have no men. Everybody is surrendering. So I will surrender. Hitler says that I will be executed. But if I surrender to the Americans, I will be safe with them. The Gestapo cannot get me once I have surrendered. His immediate superior is a man named Feldmarschall Walter Model. Model is Hitler's favorite field marshal because he fights to the death, not his death, the death of his men. He fights the last drop of his blood, but not his blood, the blood of his men. He will do anything to please the Fuhrer. He is insane. He's a maniac. He is what's kept this fight going. He has empowered the Gestapo. He has kept the Ruhr pocket resisting long after it should have stopped. And now he realizes that his army is disintegrating, but he cannot bring himself to say the words, "We surrender." I will be humiliated. I will lose my dignity. The Führer will no longer support me. He will abandon me. He has given me everything. I will betray Adolf Hitler. And if I surrender, I'll be turned over to the Russians, the allies of the Americans. And I have executed Russian prisoners of war on the Eastern Front. I'm responsible for starving them to death, letting them die of disease. There's a price on my head, and the Russians will execute me. What can I do? So this insane motherfucker who's kept this war going an extra month that it did not need to sustain, turns to his staff and says, "Tell the men to put down their weapons and go home." No, this is not a surrender. I'm telling them to put down their weapons and go home. Drive me out into the woods. The last sound his chauffeur hears Walter Model, Hitler's favorite field marshal, a true Hitlerian, shot himself in the head to keep from falling into captivity, to keep his dignity, to keep the good thoughts of Adolf Hitler. The final show of the season was the toughest. I did not anticipate how tough this would be. It was actually about the military. It was actually about the Marine Corps. Apparently in the aughts and in the 90s, there were Marines on the base in San Diego, California, who would leave the base and make gay porno films. Yeah. And when the Marine Corps found out about this, they dishonorably discharged them. So this playwright wrote a play about it. And it was a nudie play. Do you know what nudie plays? So it was a big thing a while ago, happened in a lot of gay theaters. It was just plays where there was, an excuse for men to take their clothes off, right? And, they were actors, but mostly they were just people who like to take their clothes off, right? And those are much more expensive than actors, right? Actors are cheap compared to nudists, right? And it was like the excuses were ridiculous. It was like, oh, airport security? Oh, sure, yeah, I'll take my belt. But, I'll just take everything off, okay? Yeah, it's like, that was like the excuse in the play. Like, oh, it's so hot in New York in the summer. I'm just going to take my clothes off. Yeah. So I just thought, it's a nudie play. What's the big deal? Well, there were two problems. The first was the title. The title was Cocksucker, a Love Story. Yeah, but how do you advertise that in the paper? They will not run ads that say cocksucker in the paper. So I thought, okay, this is easy. Okay, everybody will get this. We'll run ads that say C***, sucker. Great, everybody's going to figure out what that is, right? Yeah, easy, right? Yeah, right? They didn't. People saw that, they called them, they said, I'm sorry, is the missing word quit? Is it quit sucker? No, it's not quit sucker. It's not about sucking quits. It's about sucking cocks. Is it corn sucker? No, this isn't about having sex with vegetables. It's about cock sucking. Is it cane sucker? Who would suck a cane? That is just perverse. That is sick. Nobody sucks canes. You know we put on a show about sucking canes. The other problem is the director didn't rehearse enough. He said, oh, this is easy. It's easy. I can do this in a week. I can rehearse. I can do the whole show in a week. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then on opening night, 4 hours before the audience was supposed to show up, he came to me and he said, you have to cancel the opening. Yeah, because we need more rehearsal. Well, we need more rehearsal because we just do. We need more rehearsal. We didn't. But you said 1 week was enough. Well, I didn't realize it wasn't enough until we got to the end of the week. We're not ready. I'm sorry, but that just seems weird, okay? I mean, you couldn't predict. Hey, don't make fun of my process. This is how I work, okay? I don't know how much rehearsal I actually need until I get to the end of the rehearsal period. Okay? So don't make fun of me. Okay? You have to cancel the show. I'm sorry, but this is a nudie play. Okay? I mean, how much rehearsal does it take to get guys to take their clothes off? Hey, don't make fun of my play. This play is Ibsen. It is. This is Chekhov. This is my cherry orchard, okay? So if you're going to stand there and make fun of me, I'm just going to leave. But I'll tell you something. You have to cancel the opening. You have to get, okay. Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell the actors not to go on. Yeah, and they will follow me. They will take that direction because they need more rehearsal. You're holding the play hostage on opening night? Yes, I am. Okay? So that's the story. Get rid of the audience because there's not going to be a show tonight. So I called up every single person in the audience. I called the press. I called the subscribers. I called the single ticket buyers. I said, don't come. A lot of people had to leave messages. And I told them, please call back and tell me you got this message. Every single person confirmed. They understood. They would come later when the show actually opened. They wanted to see the nudity, but they understood that there wouldn't be any penises tonight. So they were all ready except 2 people. They didn't get the message. And they showed up at 8 o'clock at the theater. And they were my 2 favorite subscribers, a married lesbian couple, 2 women married to each other, and they were San Jose police officers. And they showed up expecting a show. So what's going on? We're subscribers. We came to see some theater at 8 o'clock. Where's the show? Oh, well, I called you. I left you a message. Yeah, the show's not ready, so we had to cancel the opening. Sorry. You didn't call me. You didn't leave me a message. I didn't get any message from you, from the theater, from nobody. Where's the show? I was horrified. Oh my God, I'm going to end up arrested. I'm going to end up in a San Jose jail. Can you imagine anything more horrifying and boring? I was terrified. Can you imagine what the food is like in a San Jose prison? It was horrible. I was terrified. Fortunately, her wife, who was also a San Jose police officer, suddenly said, oh, you never listen to your messages anyway. You're horrible about listening to your messages. That's true. I guess I just didn't get that message. God. And then the director came out and he said, oh, hi, I saw you guys on the guest list. I saw you're both sergeants, but I knew you weren't in the military. I knew you were in the police department. Oh, that's so hot. I'd love to have a picture of you two in uniform. I find women in uniform so hot. Will you give me a picture? Will you give me a picture? And he charmed them. And they went home happy, amused that they'd had this unique experience. It took forever to get that show open. And when it did finally open, yes, all the men showed up and loved all the penis wagging. They just ate it up. We were making a lot of money, but it was a very hard show to keep open. Very hard. Because nudists are not necessarily professional actors. You know, they drank a lot. They did drugs. They were always sick. And it was very hard to get an entire cast to go on every night. We kept sending on understudies. People didn't really want to take their clothes off. They were just trying to get their foot in the door of the theater. And finally, there was one night when there weren't enough people to staff the play. We couldn't do the show, so I said I would go on in one of the roles. And there was one role that required no nudity. And that was the role that needed to be covered. I did perform without my shirt on, but top half is fine. So I played the role that night, and I did have to do one scene, which took place in it was a glory hole scene, okay? So I had to stand backstage and shove through a glory hole. And then somebody would suck on it. And I would go, oh yeah, give me some rose. Orgasm. That required all that extra rehearsal. They weren't ready on opening night. It was funny though. Even though that show did incredibly well, it cost a lot and we didn't make any money. Yeah, we just broke even. But the director did come to me and said, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate that. I have asked so many times to have the opening canceled at so many other theaters. And nobody has ever listened to me before. Nobody else has done it. I so appreciate you. You are such a professional. I thought, what? I wish he hadn't told me that. Now I feel like a sucker. You know when people are trying to thank you for something, they say something like that? I was so defeated. But we got through the season. We made no money, but we didn't lose any. And I got better at listening. And I would choose the shows for the next season. Somehow, I lunged forward, I'd keep pushing, and I felt like I'd survived. Station 13. Order. Yes, there was a concentration camp in the Ruhr pocket. It was called Order Concentration Camp. It was the first concentration camp that the Americans had gotten into. There are pictures of Dwight D. Eisenhower, future president of the United States, full dress uniform, polished shoes, staring. Huge mass graves, unburied bodies, piles of emaciated dead Jews everywhere. He walked amongst it all day. He had no idea. The Americans knew that the Nazis persecuted Jews, but they had no idea it had come to this. Mechanized death. And as much as I am devastated by the shots of mass graves and piles of bodies, the thing that always gets me is the lone body, for some reason always with their shirt pulled up, just sprawled on the side of the road. Like a victim of the Holocaust who didn't even get community in death. Just thrown on the side of the road, murdered like trash. Station 14. The prisoners. The fight was over. The Ruhr pocket had surrendered. 370,000 Germans went into captivity, the biggest haul of prisoners of war of World